Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel today. We're back on GT Sport and we're back with the track guide for Daily Race C, driving the Group 2 cars at Fuji. For this guide, we're using the NSX. This is probably one of the better cars for this track. I find the GTR is also drivable. However, this car seems to suit me better for this track, especially since the update that's came out adjusting the physics slightly, because this car is actually quite good on tyres now. It's actually probably equal to some of the other Group 2 cars, so it actually adds the option of using this car for this track. And I actually found this was a little bit better on tyres for myself. I could go a little bit more rearwards with the bias to help the front tyres out, and in general it used less front tyres compared to the GTR anyway, so that may be with my driving style, but I preferred this for race conditions, so I decided to do the track guide for this track in this car. We made one mistake just about where we are now on the track. You see how much we completely missed the apex. Could have fit a bus through how much space I left on the apex. However, that was pretty much the only massive mistake on the lap. The lap was reasonably good. I think it's still in P3 in the top 10 stars even now, so the lap is good enough to give you some guidance in terms of braking points and references and stuff like that. So we're going to go through this track guide, try and point out some stuff to help you improve your lap and some brake references. We're using the medium tyres for this track guide. Obviously they're the tyres that are allowed for this lap. You can see going through the final corner, always try and make sure that you get a nice strong exit from that corner. Now you'll see on the right hand side, I just jumped on in the morning to do a few laps. This was our 6th lap. You see we're just about to complete lap 5. I think it was a 0.4 or 5 or something like that as we go over the line. 29.4. so yeah, we've done all 29s at this stage, and we're going into turn 1, and we're going to be looking to brake just before the 100 board on the left. You can see there we're going to slow it down, and you see there's the 100 board up ahead, and we're braking already a bit in between the 150 and 100. It's pretty much dead in the middle. Down into second gear, we're going to trail brake all the way into this corner. You see we're starting to turn in at that white line just on the track there. We're starting to turn in pretty much at that point, and you want to skim the apex of this curb. You don't really want to get over it too much because it can unsettle the car, but you just want to skim the apex of that curb and then get on the power as early as possible. You can see I was prepared for the oversteer. We countered that oversteer and kept on the power, and actually didn't lose too much time. We did lose a bit, but it wasn't terrible as we now go into the really fast left-hand corner. Now this corner, I just give a little bit of a brake, dab of the brakes, you can see there, down into 4th gear, and you can see then just a little burst of throttle as we go into the corner. And you really want to cut this corner as much as possible. I just about get away without a cut there, taking as much of the corner as possible. And then as you run wide there, you need to get the left-hand tyre back over that white line before the end of the curb. You see how I rush to get the car back onto the track, and that will avoid you picking up any sort of penalty. As we now go through the long right-hand corner, downshifting into 4th gear and then onto the throttle hard as we bite it into the apex. You really want to keep to that right-hand side and then keep on the throttle and get the car over to the right-hand side now, because you're going to swing it in as we pretty much downshifting and braking already there, quite a bit before the 50 board on left-hand side, and you want to get the left-hand tyre to pretty much bite over the green Astro on this left-hand side. You see, I always aim for the green Astro because sometimes you will miss it, so you try and aim in for that Astro as much as possible, and then be prepared for the rear to step out on that exit as you get on the throttle. Always be ready for it before it happens, so that if it does happen, you're prepared and you can counter it as you stay on the throttle all the way into the next very tight chicane as we go braking just past the bridge that we went above there. Just past that, I brake. You can see there the braking input's going in. It's just fractionally past that little boarding above our heads. And on the turn-in, I like to turn in very early for this corner. And again, trying to get the right-hand tyre over that green bit of Astro. That's what I always aim for. And just be prepared to try not to make it go too deep into the corner, so that you can rotate the car now for this part of the corner and get on the throttle as early as possible. If you don't go too deep into that corner, you can then get on the throttle nice, and then you can see maximum throttle already and straighten the car up and then into this next right-hand corner. Now for this corner, I just pretty much look for the curb. As soon as I see the curb appearing quite clearly, I get on the brakes there nice and early, downshift into 2nd gear and try and bite it into the green Astro again. You can see how I'm always aiming to get that right-hand tyre, the tyre on the, obviously the inside of the car, onto that bit of green Astro on pretty much every corner. It's very much the case. Again, for this corner, we're going to do something similar. We want to get it into the apex. So what you're going to see now is we actually have a little mistake. We run too far wide on this corner as I try and brake a little bit too late, and we run wide. You can see through the corner running wide, and you want to be as close to that green Astro as possible on the left hand side. So we lose about a 10th or 2 there. You can actually see the delta dropping from over 3 tenths up under 2 tenths. So we lost about 1.5 tenths at least on that corner. Now back on the brakes nice and early for this corner. It's kind of, I like to brake early for this corner. Earlier is better. Then try and get it into the apex. You see how I'm squaring the car off, getting it into the apex of the corner, and then on the throttle as early as possible and keeping it on the throttle. You see I do not lift. I'm moving the steering wheel around just to try and counter the oversteer that is going on, and then we work our way all the way down to the finishing line, and we go over the line on a 1:29.2. Now we obviously had potential. We were nearly 4 tenths up on a 29.4, so we were heading for a 29.0, 29.1, and we did mess it up on that one corner. So you will be able to, obviously if I would have hooked that corner up I would have gone a bit faster, but I haven't gone back onto this to try and make sure I get it all, the whole lap completely clean. Obviously with FIA we were practicing for Red Bull Ring and we wanted to get that practice done, so I concentrated on that for a change, and just to make sure I get a decent result at Red Bull Ring. But you can see the lap now from behind the car. You can see how I really swing it in. You can see how aggressively I swung that back into the track, because I know that if I don't do that I would have picked up a penalty at that point. And again, swinging it over to the right hand side of the track again for this left-hander. It's so important to get this Group 2 car swung into these corners, because you've got to use the maximum amount of track as possible. And it's very aggressive driving in these Group 2 cars, and I really do enjoy driving them. They're really fun cars to drive, especially the NSX. Once you get used to this car, it is actually quite a nice car to drive. You've just got to get used to the front end as being, it's a really positive front end, but that's what I like. I like cars with a very strong front end that will turn in. They are a little bit tricky in terms of getting on the throttle. However, they do benefit you once you get used to them. You can see how much we miss the apex there by. We lost out at least a tenth from that corner with that extremely wide line through there. However, we did get on the power reasonably well, and then we got into this corner and got on the power quite nicely there, and getting very close to the edge of the curb there and nearly spinning it, but got away with that, and then all the way to the finishing line. Anyway, I hope that quick track guide helps you out for Daily Race C. I know it's a little bit late, this track guide, I do apologise, but we've still got 3 days left, or 3 or 4 days left on this Daily Race C, so hopefully it'll help you improve your time and help you out in the race conditions as well. And remember, try and use your brake bias to +1 or +2 in the race conditions. Now this might get a little bit tricky for some people dealing with the rear stepping out. However, it will help your tyres towards the end of the stints, especially the second stint. Anyway, I'll leave you with the lap at full speed with the pedal camera and the wheel camera on. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, or if it's helped you out, and I will be back with more track guides for some FIA races, daily races, etc., and more races to come in the future from the FIA series. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back very soon. Have a great day, everyone.